our happy-go-lucky podcast.
I know.
We're always so happy.
Canada.
So happy.
Great.
Our bin is
play.
great. My bin's great.
How about you, Victoria?
I've had a good bin, a busy bin, but good things are coming.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been okay. It's been okay.
How have you been, Brooke?
Busy as well. Got lots of stuff. I'm like working on moving my shop over to my own website.
Hell yeah.
Etsy. I'll still probably use Etsy for some things, but most of it I'm going to move to a website. And maybe eventually I'll have my own podcast, but that's like a little bit down the
That'd
pipeline.
Be so
yeah.
fun.
Don't want to put too much on my plate at once.
No, that's understandable. I definitely feel that.
Is there a reason you're just leaving Etsy? Because I got beef with Etsy. So
so
Etsy's still charging me fees.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the fees are not. Yeah, the fees are not great, and like it's just not as customizable as a site, and I just feel like I've had my shop for it'll be 2 years this summer, so I kind of want to just make everything more professional. You know?
I feel what you're saying. Yeah.
So.
Also, that reminds me, I feel like an idiot. I had the Mandalorian and Grogu earrings from your shop. I was going to wear. It's in the other room. I can grab some Loki ones, but the headset doesn't.
At some point when I have more
those.
consistent money, I will probably buy a custom pair of shoes from Brooke.
Yeah.
Me too. Oh my god, I look at your shop all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's under Far Far Away Galaxy shop, right? Or
Factory, yeah.
Factory. There we go. My bad. Far Far Away Factory. But yeah, my bin's been good. I'm just living, to say least, in Canada. But speaking of Canada, Nick, ready for some gaslight?
Yeah, okay. I don't like this segment. It's
No, it's a 3 versus 1 here situation, so you don't get to.
Johnny, do you want to go first?
So, Brooke, they have this segment where they always tell me Canadian facts, and I have to determine whether they're real or not.
Wait, who started this?
I don't know. Oh no, it was
with you after you gaslit Nick about beaver tails.
They really made me believe that like they eat beaver tails, like real beaver tails. I didn't know it was like a flat churro. I just thought
it's a pastry we have here in Canada, so
It's
delicious.
Delicious.
I recommend it. If anyone ever gets a chance to eat a beaver tail, eat it. Not animal beaver tail.
Thanks for the sub. That's my fiance. Everybody, say hi.
Hey, hi. Oh yeah. Well, I should also be encouraging chat interactions because, to say the least, Boba Fett was a very interesting show, and I would love to hear other people's opinions on it. But as for the Canadian knowledge test, Brooke, you are welcome to play a lot if you like. Nick, in Canada, we have a law where if you say sorry, that does not count as an omission of fault under our law.
So if you say sorry,
that cannot be used as evidence against you in a court of law.
I don't say sorry anyway.
Okay, but Canada.
Oh.
Because like a lot of times, if you say sorry in court or anything, and it's used as evidence
like you're like
you,
liable.
They're like, oh, he's admitting that he did something wrong. That can be used
okay,
against
got
you,
it. So,
but in Canada, we have something where that can't be used against you because of how polite we are and how often we say sorry.
I'm gonna say no. Okay, no. See, you gave it away at that end. There's no way that you guys just say sorry that much that you're like, oh, we have to admit that from the law. I'm gonna call bullshit on that. You guys are gaslighting me. That's
Brooke,
not
what
real.
do you think?
I don't know. I'll just say I'll go the other way and I'll say that it's a real thing.
Yeah. Laiba, Victoria, do you know anything about this?
I do know this, and I know the answer to this one.
You want to reveal it?
It is true.
Yeah,
really?
We say
have a
sorry so much.
We say sorry that much.
Now
we can't use it as an omission of fault.
Or somebody will bump into us, and then we'll say sorry to
Someone will
them.
hit my car, and I'll say sorry to them.
That's wild, dude.
I'll be changing lanes, and I'd be like, sorry.
Exactly. Even though I indicated in everything.
See, I remember one time I got into a car accident, and all right,
we're good.
You're back.
My bad.
I remember one time I got into a car accident. It was definitely my fault. And the guy got out of the car and he was like yelling at me, and I was like, do you have insurance? And he's like, you're not even gonna say sorry? And I was like, do you have insurance? And I was like, I'm not gonna say sorry because I was like what, like 24 when this happened. I was like, I'm smart enough to know to not say sorry, and I might come off as an asshole, but like if that's gonna save me thousands of dollars right now, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, in Canada, you can say sorry if you're in an act.
Good to know when I'm in Canada. I don't know when I'm gonna be in Canada, but
You're coming to Canada.
Place.
yeah, I guess
I'll come to LA, but you better come to Canada at least
Yeah,
once.
you should come to Canada.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll think
Reach.
about
Come
it.
and bam. We'll take
Reach.
it easy.
Is that
Maybe
something-
went there recently.
no, that just shows my age. Do people say reach anymore? No, they don't, right?
Reach?
Reach? Oh, you
like-
reaching?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I
Like,
say
Nick
reach.
Reach
Oh, yeah, I
Canada.
still say reach.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
You,
no,
you
we're good.
guys are old though.
Oh, not that
Yeah.
I'm young.
old. Whoa,
I'm
hey.
older than you, Laiba.
Oh, hey, well, chill
get
out.
it.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
No.
Anyways.
But, wait, I have
Laiba, do you
one.
want test
I
Nick
have-
on yours?
Yeah. This is pretty simple. So here in Canada, we have the moose.
Mhm.
You know what a moose is?
Yeah, I know what a
obviously.
moose is. Okay, like, I've seen a moose
Do
before.
you know how terrifying they are?
He really
Uh,
doesn't.
No, I
I don't
guess
think
not.
you know how
Well,
terrifying.
I don't know. I've seen Brother Bear, and that's kind of like my depiction.
That's
of
not
what a
the same.
moose is.
That
They're
is
not
the
like
same.
that.
They're not
Okay.
the same.
No, you shut up.
That's my favorite one.
God, I love that movie.
So, how big do you think a moose is?
I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know how to measure a moose. I'm gonna say like they've got to be taller than me, right? So it's got to be like 7 feet tall. Is that like how?
No.
No.
So taller than a
No.
Johnny.
It's
Yeah.
taller than Johnny. I would just
Johnny.
not go towards that thing. That thing's ugly.
Yeah. Well, they average at actually like 6 feet tall,
Uh-huh.
and they're so scary to the point where truckers who are driving in the mountains will refuse to hit them because we're technically not allowed to stop for animals. So truckers will just pull over
And just wait for the moose?
Yeah,
Is-
those wait.
A moose will total your car and the moose will be fine.
Yeah,
Moose
I believe
it's a
that.
regular
damage
Tuesday
the
for the
front.
moose.
Yeah, to the front of like a semi-trailer truck. It'll completely.
I
damage it.
believe that. Brooke, do you believe that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're giant.
Oh man.
I've
they're
seen like
freaking big.
videos of them just like walking by, and it seems terrifying.
Okay, then yeah.
So
I
this
guess-
must be an LA thing then.
we don't have mooses.
Yeah, you
Moose? Mooses?
Moose
Meese?
eyes. I like to say
Meeses?
moose eye.
I like to say Mises.
We don't got Mises in LA, so
Look at that! It's a flock of meese.
look, it's a flock of Mies. Shut up. Yeah, I
Oh,
believe you. I
Lord.
believe that's a thing.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, no, we're
Okay.
terrified of
Freaking
mooses
scary.
here.
God.
Or
And
moose eye or
geese. Oh
meese.
my
And geese.
god.
Okay, we're
Geese,
not.
ugh.
We'll save geese
We'll
for another
save
day.
geese for another day
Yeah.
because
We'll
that's,
save the cobra chicken.
that's
That's
a
too much
lot.
for me. All
All
right,
right.
well, there you go.
Shall we
Can't
get into
gaslight.
Boba Fett then? Like the meat and potatoes of this show?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. All right. I mean,
The
like
milk
first
melons
off,
and-
I mean, like let's be honest here. Like first off, like we didn't even know the show was gonna come out until like the end of last year here. So like, what were our thoughts like prior to even ever seeing Boba Fett in the Mandalorian series? Like just episodes, was it 5 to 6, and I guess the legend stuff that was part of Boba Fett's lore. Like, what were our thoughts surrounding Boba Fett to begin with before we saw him in the Mandalorian?
Oof. Brooke, why don't you go? This is your time.
I feel like I didn't have a strong opinion on Boba Fett. Like, shocker, I know. Because he didn't really like do that much. I liked him more in the prequels, just
Mhm.
because we got to see his origin, and that was kind of cool. And I love Tem so much that I was hoping, like, I love Attack of the Clones is low-key one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And I was
Oh.
really hoping that when the rumors came out that Tem was cast as Boba Fett in The Mandalorian, I was like, I hope this is true because that's really cool.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the extent of it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I
I
think.
think
Oh, go ahead.
sorry,
Go ahead, Johnny. No, you.
I was just gonna say, I think like for the longest time, like just going because like even including the prequels, like I don't really care for Boba Fett, and then we see him in the original trilogy, and I'm just like, you don't do much. You're not. Everyone says you're cool. Like I guess you have a cool helmet, but the lizard dude next to you is way cooler in Empire Strikes Back. Like I was a bigger Bosk fan than I was a Boba Fett fan for the longest time, and then like I read bits and pieces of his legend stuff, and like it was still cool, but like. He wasn't much for me until we saw him in like season 2 of Mando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I didn't really have too much of an opinion on him. Like, actually, he was kind of a little bit goofy when he got eaten by that Sarlacc. He was like,
Goofy.
like everyone says you're like this fearless like bounty hunter, like you're so cool, you're so badass, but you just got like eaten.
Yeah.
Just like what? It was like one of those cases of like there was hype around this character that they made a big deal in the movie, and then it's just like gone. Like what? Yeah.
It's kind of
I feel like I have similar like they do that a decent amount in Star Wars, so I shouldn't be surprised, but
it's kind of like how I feel about Dumbledore and Harry Potter. Like, everyone just says he's a powerful wizard, but no one ever actually explains why he's a powerful wizard. They're just like, oh, yeah, he's the strongest wizard around. And I was like, okay, but, like, why, though? It's like, he just is. I'm like, okay. So our only exposition is the fact that we've talked about it. Like, that's the only thing.
They say he's really great, and they say he's really cool. And then he just gets eaten by a sandworm.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, okay, well, like, that was always what confused me when I watched the original trilogy. I was like, he didn't do anything. Like, I don't get it. Like, he didn't do anything. Why is he like this big icon? He's in there for like 20 minutes and then he's out. Like, that's the whole thing. That's his whole move. So when we got that he was gonna be in his own show, I was like, okay, great. They're gonna have like an opportunity to kind of explore. Obviously, like I'd watched the Clone Wars and like I had seen him as a child, right? Like that's fun, I guess. Mm-hmm. But like that still didn't contribute to like this mass idea, like, oh dude, Boba Fett's the greatest bounty hunter ever. I was like, no, I don't see that. I don't get it. Yeah. I still don't understand. What about you, Laiba? Yeah.
I mean, I'm a pretty new Star Wars fan because like I watched it when I was a kid, but I didn't at the same time, so I didn't really remember anything. But I remember I have this vivid memory. I had a leadership conference and it was like Star Wars themed.
Oh wow.
And we had like Star Wars like merch for this like conference, and then a lot of people were buying like the Boba Fett like hoodie because it was like a Boba Fett emoji on this hoodie. And I was like, what the fuck is Boba Fett? I was like, who's this guy?
And now look where you are.
And look at me now. No, but I was like, I don't know. I watched the Clone War, not the Clone Wars, but the film, and I was like, is that it? I was like, that's it? And then I like wanted to learn more about him. And yeah, I'm still learning more, but we do know that I love a masked man. So
the one with the T-shaped visor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially one that you can call daddy.
Latino space. We're a big encourager of Latino space daddies here. That's our favorite.
I mean, hey, Tamora Morrison is from New Zealand, so he's a Kiwi.
Yeah.
He's a Kiwi space daddy.
My favorite is Poe
Good
Dameron.
Boy.
I love Oscar Isaac. He's my favorite.
So does Laiba. But like, were most of us like familiar with some of his legend stuff, or not too much of it? No.
Yeah.
Really?
I only Clone Wars just because I would put it in the background while I did chores.
There's a really cool episode where like Boba infiltrates Camino and all that with a bunch of cadets. It was a pretty good episode.
I like that one. And he tried to kill what's his face?
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. Yeah, that was a good episode.
It was a good one.
It's also kind of scary. I was like, this kid's really just trying to kill this Jedi. this kid's ride or die, man.
Hey, kids are vengeful little fuckers. I speak from experience.
Yeah, it's true.
Kids are mean.
Kids are
Moral
mean.
Story.
Yeah,
kids
Boba Fett was kind of like Boba Fett was kind of a little like bitch in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, he was. He's kind of annoying. I was like, God, man,
and
get over it.
And then he shows up again. He shows up again in prison, and he's just like causing trouble.
Yeah.
It's a little shit.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars too, where he gets eaten by in the Sarlacc pit. It was like do we have that much like of his adult years
Yeah.
anywhere?
We do now,
No.
thanks to War of the Bounty Hunters. There we go.
Well, okay. How long was it that he was like? How
Sarlacc?
no? Well, okay. We'll get into this later, but like, I guess we'll just talk about like he spent time with the tribe, right? Like the Tusken Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
How long did he spend with them? Because
I
like
thought
that,
someone do the math, and that it's like about 5 years of his
He's got
life.
5
It was
years.
at least a few years.
yeah.
Yeah, because Mandalorian time period takes place 9 ABY, which would be 4 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So
Or
then,
5.
yeah, about 4 or 5
4 or
years.
5 years after Return of the Jedi, so
It's because that
Assuming he
kid's still a
escaped
kid.
the pit pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
A kid's still a kid in the
Yeah,
tribe.
that was a weird thing. It was like the Tusken Raider kid.
Yeah. So it's like a kid.
oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the kid like, you little shit.
It has to be less
The
than
most
10
time.
years, but it can't be like more than. Can't be more. It has to be
Unless it's
more
just
than
like different kids, but it seems to be his
the
kid.
same kid.
Hey,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
don't know how Tusken Raiders age. Just look at Grogu. He's 50.
That's true.
know
Yeah,
what?
that's also
Fair.
like a different. Yeah.
Good
So there is
point.
that. There is the
don't know nothing
biological.
But
about
it's
Tusken Raiders.
science or it's like fantasy element on it.
Exactly. But like, what work? Well, like, again, like I don't think most of us saw Boba Fett returning, did we? In Mandalorian.
I thought it was kind of a cop out if he did. I was kind of like feeling like if we're gonna do a movie or like we're gonna do a show about the Mandalorian, like, do we need to bring back Boba Fett? I feel like that's just like it's like a jump the shark kind of idea, you know? It's like what? Go ahead.
I know when the show was first announced, like Boba Fett was the only character that had that like Mandalorian like look
Armor.
to him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everyone just assumed I think it was supposed to be a Boba Fett show.
Right.
And I think like before Disney Plus, the Boba Fett that's now the series and Kenobi were both
Yeah,
supposed to
they
be
were both supposed
they
to
were
be
movies and
Until Solo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people thought like Boba Fett was going to show up because he's the closest thing, at least in like live action stuff, that's
Yeah.
tied to the Mandalorians.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, I wasn't too sure about bringing him into the Mandalorian at first because I was like, I mean, it's the show. The show's about Din,
Then yeah.
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
like I don't know, but I think they made it work without it being
yeah.
too
Yeah.
too weird.
His
Mhm.
appearance definitely worked with the flow of the series, I think, back in season
Yeah.
2.
Yeah,
But,
I
like-
agree. Like, I didn't quite expect it.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, like, obviously, like, he's the only one with that type of armor. I was like, okay, cool.
Mhm.
But I like, even after the end of season 1, I didn't expect him to come back for like a season 2. But like the way that he was introduced in season 2, I'm like, you know what? This makes sense. We didn't really actually see him die, so like it's always on cinema or whatever, they like leave it up to our interpretation of what happened. So it's like kind of a cop out, but
I'm
but,
convinced.
I was
ahead,
happy
yeah.
with how they brought him in season 2. I mean, obviously I have thoughts about this show, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
I think it's just so great. Like they will not let anybody die. Like he survived getting eaten,
Eaten by a Sarlacc
and then you
pit.
saw that people can come back to life if you mod them. Well, they don't come back to life, but you know, it's like
I mean, Darth Maul lost his lower half.
Yeah,
and he's
exactly. It's
still-
just
Yo,
like,
Darth
God,
Maul
these-
was a mod.
yeah, he was the first
Literally.
mod, dude. Can you imagine? Oh, Laiba, what about you?
I mean, when they introduced him in the like, I knew what Boba Fett was. I was like, I obviously recognized the armor, the color scheme. I'm like, Boba Fett. So when I was watching the first episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian, and I see the Marshal, and I was like, oh my God, it's Boba Fett. But then I saw the figure, and I was like, that's not Boba Fett. I was like,
when did you
I was
wear
like,
red?
that's not- I was like, what the heck is that? But then they introduced him into the series, and I was like, huh, I know something about that guy. I don't know anything about him, but I know who he is, and I know he's really cool. So it got me really excited to know more about him. But with the series, something else.
Yeah.
Was that I still remember when season 1 was coming out, and then like after Fennec gets shot, and then you have like that little end credit note of like the spurs jingling, And everyone's like, oh yeah, no, that's Boba Fett and everything. I'm like, that can't be Boba Fett. Because like, when did Boba Fett wear spurs? I genuinely don't remember this.
Yeah.
I don't remember that scene.
Or something like that.
If you go back, I'm like, I feel kind of dumb now. I don't know if you guys watched, any of you watched the Under the Helmet thing on Disney Plus. It was like a 30-minute documentary on the history of Boba Fett. But because Boba Fett's character is based off of like Clint Eastwood's like very Western, like The Man with No Name, they wanted to give him spurs. So not actual spurs, but they wanted that sound effect. So Ben Bird, the sound designer for the originals, like added that in when he walked into like the dinner scene, which I didn't pick up on when they showed The Mandalorian. They showed him walking. It's literally like the same, very similar music and the same spur sounds. And I remember watching, I think it was the gallery episodes from The Mandalorian season 2, and like Favreau and Filoni were talking about how like they were laughing because they were like, it was blatantly obvious and people were second guessing like, no, there's no way it's Boba Fett. Which it's funny because I did too. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
I was like, that can't be Boba Fett. Like maybe it's Cad Bane or something like that. And later into season 2, look at what we get.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm sure we all have our thoughts on the series, but like in terms of like right now, we're like, where do you think it scales to like how you enjoy Star Wars, to like say the movies, the other series like Clone Wars and The Mandalorian, and even Visions for that matter?
Visions
like,
the best.
Visions
I love Visions.
Nick, you love the twins.
That makes it the best. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I mean, a lot of Star Wars is goofy. I think people had so much like were like expecting it to just be The Mandalorian again, so they're like, oh, it's different, and it ended up being kind of goofy. Like, it threw a lot of people off. But like, it, other than like the weird pacing and inconsistency of the tone of the show, like, it felt very Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
Like,
fair enough.
All of that, but I don't know how I finished this compared to Clone Wars. I mean, I just couldn't get past season 1 of Clone Wars, which is a fair argument.
It's rough.
I'm sure the rest is great.
Yeah, season 3 gets way better.
Yeah,
it felt still very Star Wars to me. Like it wasn't too far out of like what we know and the stories we've been told to like break canon. I hate when people say the word canon in relation to
I
Star
love
Wars,
breaking canon. It's my favorite.
The twins.
The twins is my favorite. Firmly believe that's the one episode that made that entire series not canon. I was like, we can't allow this in canon. It's ridiculous.
Cool.
How about you guys? Brooke, Laiba? Like,
Go
you guys
ahead,
are
Brooke.
fairly big Star Wars fans. Laiba, I know you love Mandalorian. Right? I feel like you still prefer Mandalorian.
I mean, yeah. I was gonna say that when I was going into the Mandalorian, I know it's not the Mandalorian episode, but when I was going into the Mandalorian, I knew nothing about it, but I was immediately hooked, and I was kind of expecting the same thing with Book of Boba Fett. But like I said, I genuinely struggled to get through this series. It took me 2 days to get through the first episode. I was like, because I was so excited for it. But like once I got to the first episode and I pressed play, I was like, I am bored out of my mind. And I try to give myself a chance to at least watch 3 episodes and decide if I like the show or not. But oh gosh, it was really hard. And I felt like disappointed in myself. And I'm like, you're not a Star Wars fan if you don't like the show. Because I felt like I was gonna get like roasted, obviously. But yeah, I don't know if I blame The Mandalorian for just it. Maybe it just like wasn't for me. Like I don't know why I had like a hard time watching the first couple episodes, but I think I'm going to give it a second chance because I had to force myself to watch this or else I was going to get told that I didn't do my homework. So.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling. They never let you forget.
No, we don't let you forget that.
They never let you forget. Anyway.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a second rewatch and maybe watch the Under the Helmet for with
it's
Boba
a
Fett.
very
I might
good
watch,
docu.
start. Yeah, I think I'll give it another chance.
I'm curious if they'll do because with Mandalorian they have the behind the scenes stuff where they
I
also
really hope they do.
Yeah, same. I'm curious to see the thought process towards Boba Fett. But Brooke, what do you think of it compared to overall Star Wars as well?
I mean, I have very low expectations when it comes to Star Wars stuff. I just go in to enjoy it, and I'm pretty easy to please. I don't I usually take a long time to process what I see and then come up with my criticisms. It's very rare that there's something that really sticks out that I'm that was not good. Which there were kind of a couple things in this show that did that, but I'm sure we'll get to it. But overall, I mean, I think I still like The Mandalorian more if we're comparing them. But The Mandalorian just has the kind of tone of, it gives me the same tone as the original trilogy, which are my favorite trilogy of Star Wars. It captures that same kind of I don't know, magic, if you will. And I liked Boba Fett. It had it started out kind of a fresh style, and as soon as we knew or learned that it was going to be Robert Rodriguez, I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. I'm a fan of him. So I thought, oh, this could be fun, and I really liked his episode of The Mandalorian that he did with the reintroduction of Boba Fett. I know a lot of people weren't crazy about it because it did feel tonally very different or stylistically different from the rest of the show, but I thought it was funky and fresh, so I was hoping that the show was going to be like that, and I think his episodes had those elements. I think that maybe overall the show would have actually benefited from him just having more creative control over the entire thing. He was an executive producer, but he also directed 3 episodes. He directed episode 1, episode 3, and episode 7. And so I think because there were those breaks where it was very stylistically different, it just didn't flow, I think, as good as it could. Because I've heard people say oh, Robert Rodriguez shouldn't come near Star Wars ever again, and it's well, I don't think he was the problem. It was the problem is that these styles and these tones of each episode were so different that it made his stuff very jarring because it's so different and playful and goofy when people were going in expecting The Mandalorian again. So I don't know. I still really enjoyed it overall. I want to go back and watch it again. But
was it to your point though, because I don't love a lot of Robert Rodriguez's episodes in this. I love the shit out of Spy Kids. I'll say that right now. They're part of my childhood, so I don't have a major issue with him, I'd say. But I think the issue comes from the fact that Boba Fett, the show, is supposed to be a single story that's connecting, that's supposed to have the same vibe throughout. Whereas compared to say The Mandalorian, where it's each episode is a different thing. Look at season 2 of The Mandalorian. You have your samurai episode that reintroduced Ahsoka, and then you have your heist episode and all that, right? So to your point, 100% I agree. Robert Rodriguez doesn't need to stay away, but they need to know how to use him better, I think.
That was something in our watch party yesterday, because I don't know directors' names. I don't know anything.
I was I don't care.
We were getting to the middle robot section of the finale, and I just say why does this feel like Spy Kids out of everything? I was Spy Kids, or afterwards I went through to the Incredibles and stuff with the it just felt very Spy Kidsy, and then Johnny's well, of course, because it's the Spy Kids guy. I'm wait, what?
We have that on record. If everyone wants to go see it, Stream Lounge.
My face was just in shock. I'm oh, but in terms of that, honestly, I thought episode 1 and 3 were really fine. The vibes vibed for me, and then I went to it's they had 2 Mandalorian episodes in the middle of the season, and then the finale I'm whoa, now this is getting a little goofy, but I smiled and I laughed and we had a good time throughout. So
we
how
cried.
can I be that mad at this, right? Like, how can I say I hate, like, so many people like, I hate this series, but like,
Yeah.
did you laugh? Did you cry? Did you smile? Did you
enjoy yourself in any way at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That matters more to me.
I feel like, yeah, you have to
Which
go.
it feels very, like, I guess it's kind of like prequely in that thing. It's like, it's kind of goofy. Still very Star Wars, but like, it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
You still laugh and smile.
Yeah, like I'm like Vic, where like I don't really do research on like the directors or anything, because like if a property or like a project is supposed to be successful, then I shouldn't have to. So like when you said it was Robert Rodriguez, I was like, okay, I guess that explains some of like the design choices and like the mood and stuff like that. But the inconsistencies are definitely there. I think because I like in a vacuum, parts of the series are great, right? Like I really enjoyed the Tuscan people. I thought exploring their dynamic and like kind of redefining them as like a culture of people was really great. I like how Tamara Morrison was able to like incorporate his culture into that. I think that's a excellent discussion to have with like Native people, and like, are those the stories that they want to be telling people? You know, it's a very like nuanced conversation. I feel like that should exist in the Star Wars space. But then it's just like, okay, you have these like deep, meaningful ideas that exist, and then you have episode 4 that's just a Mandalorian episode, and you have episode 5 it's just a Mandalorian episode, and you're like, okay, what happened to the important things that I cared about? That's kind of gone.
Yeah.
And separately, you know, they're great together. If you're gonna call it one show, it's like this is not cohesive. I don't like this.
Yeah.
And then in the finale, it's all supposed to come together, but like the plot line of the Tuscan people is just completely lost. Like, yeah, they mention it, like, oh, you're gonna like just how they killed your tribe, and I was like, what does this contribute to his motive? I still don't get it. Like, I don't understand why he mentioned that at all. Yeah, anger. But then it's just like you built up this entire tribe of people just for him to have this moment that like, oh, look how strong he is. Look how patient he is. And I was like, that's it? You built up 3 episodes of like rediscovering these people just to have like a 5-minute like stare off and like, okay, yeah. All right, we're good. We've proved our point.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's weird. But for like, it's also just like some of the writing, which is like a little bit bothering to me. Like Boba himself just seems kind of dumb in the first 2 episodes. Because he keeps going back and forth, like, "Oh, the mayor did it," and I was like, and then he goes to the mayor. I was like, "Yeah, it wasn't us; it was somebody else." I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to those people. And he goes to those people, and I was like, "It was the mayor," and he's like, "I guess I'm going back to the mayor." And he's like,
"Oh, the mayor escaped."
And then I want to believe, Boba, you're not that dumb. There's no way you're that dumb. Like, there's no way you walked back and forth between these 3 buildings, believing every single one of these people. And it's
make
like,
it make sense, Boba.
Yeah, like make it make sense, Boba. And it's just like,
that's fair.
You know, it's just like I didn't expect him to be like some hard ass. Like I get they were trying to write him to be like, oh, he's a good leader because he listens and he's willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. I did
like that part of that.
Yeah, I can like that
really
part of
that.
that.
Yeah.
But then when you're like doing this like ridiculous stuff and he's just like, he seems kind of dumb. It's like, there's no way you're that gullible, dog. There's no way you truly believe that all 3 of these tribes are not going to turn against you. Like that was ridiculous to me.
He's got a good heart. He tried. He really did try.
Well.
And I feel like that's
I
where
was like, this is going to backfire on you.
Yeah.
But
well,
at least you made the attempt.
I could have like been fine with it if he had the precaution of like, oh yeah, I'm ready when they turn. Because then it's like, oh, that is the famous bounty hunter that I know. Like, be prepared for failure, but always aim for success. But this guy was just ready to fail always. So I was like, okay, I guess it kind of makes for a more like
fair.
I trust the people I'm with kind of story. But it's just like, I don't know. I liked what they did with his development. I think it's just the execution and like the kind of examples we got that was like it doesn't it's not that I don't like this character more or less. It just like doesn't make sense in my head. It's too inconsistent, like how he's portrayed. And in a vacuum, again, in those moments, he's great. All together, string together in one series, and you expect to call it the same show. I don't know. It's like I can turn off my brain and enjoy it for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like those inner deep thoughts that like I walk like you, Brooke. I'll like walk away from it and I'll think about it too much and I'm like, what was the point of going back? But in my radar of like where I kind of hit it, it's like Mando's pretty up there. It's somewhere near like, I don't know, not the Last Jedi. Because I like the Last Jedi. The 9th movie. The 9th movie.
Force Awakens.
The Force
Rise of
Or no,
Skywalker.
for
Rise of
Skywalker.
The Rise of
Skywalker is
Skywalker,
episode
yeah.
9. Okay, fair enough.
Like better than
Us.
that. Probably
Okay.
above Rogue One. I don't know, somewhere around there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like definitive highlights from it, as you mentioned, right? Like I love the direction they took with Boba Fett. It's a slight reinvention of the character, so I do enjoy that. But like, is there anything else we enjoy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Nick mentioned too, I really liked to do that, like with the reinvention of him, but like his relationship to the Tuscans and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not quite happy with them just fridging the Tuscans. I didn't like that.
It sucked
But I
because you
like
knew it was
how-
gonna happen. You were like, if it
Yeah.
happens, I'm gonna hate myself. And it happened, you're like, I hate this. This sucks.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, it's one thing for it to happen. It's another way to just do it in a
In the most
not
blatant way
great
possible.
way.
Yeah, and it was like I'm like I really don't like the fridging, but I really enjoyed like seeing him like have him be like from their prisoner, and then he helps them, and he like he's like he's not like just this cold-blooded killer as he's been described. Like he's not gonna let this kid just get eaten by whatever this creature is, and like he'll protect, and like he's willing to learn and stuff. So it's like I really like that direction. Again, some of all that stuff got lost, and like, yeah, like if he was on Tatooine that long and stuff, and like he might have known the landscape a little bit more. Like he could have been a little bit more protective. But I did enjoy the direction of him being like, I'm kind of done for violence and violence sake, and
Yeah.
being
Like a tool
gun
for idiots,
yeah,
as
a gun
he
for
says.
somebody else, like
Yeah.
like Black Widows or whatever. It's just like I liked how he had his own ownership and leadership, and even though it was kind of gullible for him to like always see the best, but like that's the only way that like eventually it will work.
Yeah.
I see that as character development for him.
So
Right.
yeah, to realize like, oh, you can still be that leader, probably still have a little bit of guards up and not just execute and stuff, like especially too with like the Rancor. And I'm like, I like how he was like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm not gonna just use it for like torturing people like everybody else did. Like I can use this to my assets. So like that was like really, really dope.
That's
I mean,
where I thought he
Jabba
went
sure
off.
as hell was never gonna try to ride a Rancor.
That's where I went. That's where I thought he went off the deep end. I was like, this guy's crazy. He's gonna try to tame this crazy
I mean, he
beast.
did though. So
I think I
That
think
was
it
so
didn't help.
funny.
And why is Machete in everything that
Robert Rodriguez directs.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
so funny to
Messy,
see
I
him.
guess.
Hey, the moment, like, here's the thing. I didn't love episode 3. That's probably my least favorite one. But the moment Danny Trejo showed up, I'm like, holy
I just
shit,
didn't get it. I
it's
mean, like,
Danny Trejo.
He handed
I'm
the
really
ring.
sad that's all we got of him.
Yeah,
too.
I thought he was gonna be around.
Yeah.
I was hoping like in the finale when they were like the Rancor's on the loose. My first thought was like, where's Danny Trejo?
Yeah.
I wanted an
doing
upshot.
his job.
See,
I
Of
was
him in
just
the sun.
waiting
We're missing,
for
like-
like a moment of training with a Rancor and Danny
that's what, like,
Trejo
those
there.
are the kind of like things that I thought we were missing, is like some of those
Yeah.
little things. I'm just like, as much as episode like I loved episode 5, episode 6 is a little bit slow for me and stuff, but like
Mhm.
like I really think we could have had like some more of like him with the Rancor, and like
Mhm.
him hatching out a plan, or him like doing his even Star Wars is all politics, like his like politics stuff, and talking to these other leaders and stuff, and show that like maybe he had a reason to trust them or something. Like
Mhm.
like that would like just that little bit more
Mhm.
than like seeing
I'm
a
really
baby guy
wondering.
training.
I'm really wondering how much like COVID affected the production of the show.
Yeah.
And how much the like scrapped Rangers of the New Republic show affected the storylines.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they were probably had more limited resources during COVID
Mhm.
to film, and I think that's probably why Robert Rodriguez like directed so many episodes. They might have just like
He's there already. Might as well just
he's there
use him for
already,
more.
and yeah, you don't have to fly as many people out onto set,
And he's really
whatnot.
passionate.
Yeah.
Especially with like episode 5 and 6 too. Like that was seemed like a lot of set work with a very limited cast.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering, like, Gina Carano fucking everything up, like, because it wasn't confirmed that she was going to be like the main character of Rangers of the New Republic, but that's what seemed like the direction it was going. So not like it not being in active development anymore makes me think that they're working some of the storylines that they had planned in there into these other shows that are all supposed to connect to each other, which is kind of making me wonder why like episodes 5 and 6 felt so different. Is maybe some of it was supposed to actually be in Mandalorian season 3, but it was cut so they can fit more stuff from Rangers of the New Republic into season 3 of the Mandalorian or something like that.
Right. Or alternately, that like you're mentioning that like maybe some of the like Rangers of the New Republic were supposed to come and help around episode 5 or 6 here, because that could have made sense. Yeah, with the Freetown and the Rangers, and like we saw a little bit of some of the officers, pulling him over. Like they were there, they were around.
Like that again. That's like one of those like pitfalls in the writing. It's like you expect me to believe this small town was the difference in like what they thought was going to be a complete victory. Yeah. It's like they were like a small militia in like a town that has 8 buildings. Like what are you talking? Like I don't believe that Boba would think that that's the difference in winning this. It's like
I really thought that Jawas was gonna come.
Yeah,
me too.
Fun. I thought the Tusken people were gonna come back, you know.
Same.
Like
I was really hoping that at least a couple of them made it through.
Yeah, like have Boba go and like find some of the other Tuskens out there and be like, come and help get them out. Like they killed like my tribe of them, and like
because we know there's Jawas because
like they're all like those are both like local people.
Laiba, what was your favorite? I know you have your favorite.
We know what your favorite episode is.
I feel like I can't.
Which of the two? Really... Which of the two episodes is your favorite?
I know which one it is. It's the polls I put up.
Oh, really?
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I can't count those two as Boba Fett episodes because I don't know. I think I'm a little biased because obviously I really love The Mandalorian and it was so good to see him and to have him back, but I feel like 2 episodes was just like a bit much. And I was kind of just like, what's the point? I'm like, it's supposed to be about Boba, but like now it's about Din and what
I was fine with like one episode focusing on the Mandalorian. Honestly.
Yeah, but I was like, it doesn't even have to be an episode. It could be just like maybe like a flashback or the first 30 minutes or like something like that. So I really didn't understand why there was 2 Mandalorian episodes, so I feel like I can't count those as like
favorite part of the book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, because I do love those episodes. I had a great time watching them, but I think I'm gonna say my favorite episode would probably have to be just the finale, because I think maybe it was watching it with you guys, but like I genuinely had a good time watching the finale, and I think it like wrapped things up pretty well, like from what I know. But yeah,
no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Quickly, because I mentioned those polls, I put on Instagram for everyone to do a little slider of what they thought of each episode.
If y'all want to interact with that and like kind of have your opinions show up on the show, by the way, guys, follow our Instagram.
Follow the Instagram. It seems like people had episode 5 and 6 as the top.
Yeah,
I really do love episode 5.
Before
like
6,
I get it; it pauses the story in some way, but I feel like it contributed to the overall story while still being a Mandalorian story.
Yeah, that's why I think that's why episode 5 was one of my favorites as well. But so 5 and 6, no surprise, people love the Mandalorian.
Oh, Mando.
Yeah. Was 5 the episode where Cad Bane showed up?
No, that's episode 6.
Was it 6? Because I really do love that moment in episode 6, even though I had no idea what the hell was going on.
That's a great intro.
Vamp stuff. It was episode 6 really made me happy.
Yeah,
it was a really cool like moment to see, because like going back when Star Wars was originally created, people were like, yeah, it's a space western. And
Yeah.
you watch this, and
it's like the classic.
I swear
With the
to you, frame by frame, it is from an exact western movie that I watched in class. With the way, like it's like Clint Eastwood with his like brim tilted down.
He's got the perfect
like,
silhouette for it too.
Like, Cobb Vander's like, "Who the hell are you?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was so like, I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I was like, "Who is he?"
I think that's so.
Who is he?
That was so great.
The answer is your worst nightmare, Laiba.
Yeah, that was so great to watch because like, when I watched it with my fiance. Like I like the first two scenes of like you just see a man walking, and then the third one is like you see the hat, and I was literally in my seat. I was like, no, he's not here. That's not. That's
like,
her. I flipped immediately, like from that little like speck. I was like, that's Cad Bane.
Yeah,
holy shit,
that was my reaction.
Because there was like that was a lot of people's biggest like predictions of if we're gonna get cameos, who would show up because. If you watch the Clone Wars, Cad Bane and Boba have like a decent history with each other.
There's also the deleted scene that everyone loves.
I was gonna say, and if you know even more, you know that before Clone Wars is canceled, they were developing more episodes, and one of the ones that got cut was Cad Bane and Boba Fett. He was kind of like an apprentice of sorts to Cad Bane, but the episode ends in like a standoff, and that's how Boba Fett gets the dent in his helmet. And
that's how Cad Bane was supposed to die. Cad Bane gets
like the metal plate that you see now, like in Bad Batch, and then he has like the metal plate in these episodes too. Mm-hmm. So like that was kind of a cool tie-in. But I feel like as soon as I was like, that's a tall, skinny man with a hat.
Yeah,
holy shit. Yeah, that episode got the most reactions.
Yeah. When I saw him come in, and I was like literally backing him up, like he's not here. Like that means there's serious shit's going down if he's fucking here. And
here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Just everyone freaked out over Cad Bane, but I still remember my reactions overall. I freaked out way more because as a comic book fan of Star Wars, I flipped so much shit when Black Chrysanthemum showed up.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm just like, it's freaking Dr. Aphra's Wookiee. Oh my God. I'm like, holy shit, is Dr. Aphra gonna show up now? That'd be so cool. I know, cool. Brooke, you were trying to manifest or predict Kira showing up from Solo, which would have been so awesome. Especially
all the pieces were there. They, it was a show about like the underground crime scene of the galaxy, and they had released
worked with the Pikes.
Yeah, they had released the War of the Bounty Hunters. We saw the Pikes in Solo, and it was all like, I was like, there's no way that they're not going to at least mention Crimson Dawn, which is one of the biggest crime syndicates in the galaxy, even if it's not like Crimson Reign. I think is going to answer a lot of questions now that we know that Kira and Crimson Dawn was not a part of the Book of Boba Fett. We might see what happens to them. So even if they're not operating anymore, they still have that history. And I'm like, where's the mention?
That's why I thought like when I thought they were going to lose at the end. Cause I'm like, how are they going to tie this up in like 40 minutes or whatever? I'm like, it's going to like end off on a cliffhanger where like either they lose or like maybe they win the battle, lose the war against the syndicate, and show like a dun dun dun. There's like they have like more resources behind it, and it could be like Crimson Dawn or Kira or some sort of reference to that.
But like have it end like Empire, where like your heroes do lose in some way, and that you're just left wondering what's next, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more critiques or anything we love about the series?
Grogu.
I think
that was fun.
I know people love Grogu. I'm of the opinion that he was used a bit too much in season 2, and that I didn't want to see Grogu in Book of Boba Fett. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think he was needed there. He didn't need to be in the Falcon. Like they could have the thing where like he dropped off the armor and stuff. But like wait for that like confrontation and the training scene for season 3.
Yeah,
Laiba wants to go
so,
off.
like, I for a second. Just I feel so bad for Grogu, where Luke was like, you gotta decide. You need to decide if you want to see your dad or if you want this shiny ass sword. And
from your trauma.
He didn't even have the courtesy to freaking drop them off.
Yeah, we were just joking about that before.
Luke is he's literally a Skywalker. He's just that dramatic. He's like, ain't no way I'm going back to Tatooine.
Yeah.
I hate sand.
Said he doesn't want to stay with me.
Funny because like he went all the way to pick him up, But no, then he just puts him in the X-wing and he ships him off.
Like,
Like,
R2
get the fuck
take
off
care
my
of you.
planet.
Deal with it.
You literally
God.
chose the wrong
Yeah.
get off my planet. I hate you.
It's just like you could have like
Luke, you petty ass bitch.
you're gonna make him choose right
back.
now.
Yeah. The
That
kid
was-
that's-
Yeah.
I didn't expect to see the answer so soon. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like
Same. I was hoping they would
Yeah.
have just like kept it for Mando season.
For
3
Mando
or
season
something.
3.
Yeah, I was like,
now
oh, season 3.
so many predictions that we had for Mando season 3 are kind of like out the window because it's like, all right,
It
well,
could just be
Finn is
anything
back
at this
with
point.
Yeah, now I'm just
Grogu.
confused.
I mean, I love Grogu with all my heart.
Yes.
I was like ugly crying the entire episode of him with Luke because like that is just what captures like the magic of Star Wars for me is like that kind of thing.
Like poetry, it rhymes.
But I was hoping that like I don't think he needed as cute as he was with the Rancor. Oh my
Mhm.
god, I melted into a
Oh, yeah,
puddle.
when
But
he
I
fell
don't
asleep.
think
Yep.
I don't think he needed to be in the finale, and I think he
Yeah.
kind of fumbled the bag a little bit on his reunion with Mando.
Yeah, because
Like,
it was just like
it-
during the chariot race.
That would have been like
Yeah.
so good as a episode 1.
It felt like a very MCU moment to me.
Yeah.
Where it
Yeah.
was like, oh, this emotional moment, but you have like comedic relief
Fresh.
way too
Yeah.
soon
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I
Like
feel
that reunion did make me very happy.
Yeah.
But I just I felt like it happened a little too fast because I was like, there's so much happening. There's like lasers everywhere, and like Mando is like on the back of his thing and it's moving, and then all of a sudden
they're
there's,
getting
like,
chased by this
Grogu,
giant robot,
yeah, they're getting chased by a giant robot, and then boom, Grogu appears, and then Din's
And
like,
then you
"What
get
the
your
fuck?" And then he
hug.
like jumped, and I was like, it's so fast, and now,
Mhm.
now I'm
Yeah.
just like completely lost on what's gonna happen on season 3.
Mhm.
I wish I could find Pedro Pascal because he is literally 20 minutes away from me.
Do you, do you think he was there? Like he was actually on set?
Honestly, I think he just
So-
voiced everything in.
I
You know,
think
he voiced it.
if you watch, I mean, they like him and his like stunt doubles, they all kind of like work together to do his like mannerisms and stuff, but I still feel like
Yeah.
you can tell it's Pedro in the suit, just how he stands. Like
Yeah,
he's got a
I
little
know.
more like hip
I know his
action.
body.
a
Yeah.
little bit more like
And I think he was, at least for the finale, I think he was in a couple of the
Yeah.
scenes at least.
Yeah,
I don't know about
I
the
agree.
rest of it, but
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I know for season 3, I don't think he is in season 3 a lot, because I know he's been recording some stuff here for Mandalorian
Last of
season
Us.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but because he's filming The Last of Us here,
Yeah.
but he actually has been to a recording studio
Oh.
doing some voiceovers
Can you
for
imagine
Mandalorian
the-
season 3.
That must be the greatest bag to secure. That you can like be on one project and you can just record yourself in another
First-
project.
Bradley
That sounds
Cooper
like the
with Rocket.
best, especially Star Wars. That is ridiculous. Like, oh, but we need you for
Yeah.
at least 3 days to shoot. And he's like, yeah, I'll show up. And he'll
I'll show
just
up.
show up.
I can put a slight production halt to this Last of Us
Yeah,
show. Show
exactly.
up on,
It's like
Yeah.
that
like a
sounds
completely different competitor.
the most secure
Yeah.
bag in the world. That's so
He's
crazy.
got it all.
Yeah, he's got it all. Man.
What I would give
yeah.
to be him. Yeah.
Oh.
Does that?
Oh, if we're talking about like other critiques and other things about the series, whatever that mod speeder bike chase.
Oh my
scene
god, yeah.
was
slow.
so slow.
It's so
So
ugly.
They know
Okay.
how to make things look fast, and colors aside, mods. Honestly, I kind of like the mods because
Yeah.
they're kind of like the e-girls with like the
Oh,
mods are like
I
tattoos.
don't hate
I
them.
had said this.
and
when-
stuff, and like is it? I think it's like Thundercat who plays like the modern guy.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what? Fair. You know,
it's
like that,
very Star Wars.
it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
as like bright of the colors as they are. Like, there's always going to be some of those people, but.
Like, it's
Why were there speeder bikes? They're like Vespas. Vespas.
Yeah.
No.
Why are they so clean?
I was like-
on a sand
Yeah, I was
planet?
like, just get off, get
Yeah,
off and
just
walk.
get off.
Like you look cooler. Like
It was like a little
Get
too
off
long.
and
I'm like,
walk.
I was all down for a chase scene, but I'm just like, just make the little wind go faster.
Yeah,
I like to think
Curious
about
if
it.
anyone else saw this.
I like to think about it that like the major domo was trying to get away, but was like trying to obey traffic laws. So that's why it was really slow.
Love that.
It was like
Okay,
the
that
right
makes
hand
it a
signal.
lot better. That makes it so much
I
better.
would actually, you know what, that makes a lot of
Like-
sense, and I will take that as the reason.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if anyone else saw
Canon.
this.
New canon,
Um,
right
There we
there.
go. But I'm curious if everyone else saw this. During the speeder chase, you can see a moment where like they're turning a corner, and you can see behind the set, and you can see the wooden planks holding up the walls.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Did anyone else see it?
No.
I missed
They
that.
probably
Okay, I
fixed
guess
it
it's
by
just a
now.
movement.
Sounds like
I
you
don't
gotta
know if
make
they
a
fixed it
TikTok
yet.
later.
It's funny enough, I saw it off of a TikTok as well, but I'll see if I can find it. But
Oh.
like someone pointed out, I'm like, I thought that was it, but like, moving on from that.
It's just I like the speeders because like they're fun. It's just like
I want them faster.
who's the girl? What's her name?
Oh,
I don't remember.
TikTok girl.
Yeah, dude, like she looked like she
My
fell,
friend
The girl
was
with the
literally
wolf
like,
cut,
did they
right?
like she looked like she fell out of Hot
find a girl
Topic,
on
man.
TikTok?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the Hot Topic.
She definitely looked like she
Yeah.
just fell out of a
It was
Hot
very.
Topic.
She was the most like Robert Rodriguez out of all of them.
Yeah.
I
and-
did
Spy Candy.
appreciate whatever private boarding school guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like the
This
great
freaking
preppy
freaking
look.
Hot Topic and Banana
He's got a
Republic.
baby
Yeah.
blue
Like, what's the
blazer on. I'm like, come on.
I think he was on the
dude.
yellow scooter.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
like him though. But the spin move of the guy with the eye.
Oh
I
yeah.
I love it though.
Oh my God,
I love it.
I have a TikTok draft with that like I like it Picasso sound for all the people complaining about it because I'm like Star Wars is camp and that was the campiest
That
thing
was
I've
so
ever seen.
good. I was like gonna do like one of like I'm in pain without the A.
I'm
in spin.
There was spin. Whoosh.
My
There was a lot of spinning in this episode,
There
too,
was.
from both Mando and
Okay.
the
It's like
eye guy.
Fennec did just like a
unnecessary
flip,
Yeah,
unnecessary
yeah.
flip. I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it.
It's
In
just
the-
parkour.
In the first episode, they just like had a whole segment of parkouring, and I was like, "Why is this necessary?" I'm very confused. It reminds me of like, you guys ever watch the Transformers movies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so like the third one, for whatever reason, Michael Bay wanted to have like skydivers with like the squirrel
Yeah,
suits,
I remember.
and he's just like, "I just want those in the movie," and they're like in there, but they do absolutely nothing. And it's just like, what was the point of having this?
Like cost so much money to do that too.
yeah, exactly. It's like you hired okay, yeah, hire more people, like hire parkourers, I guess. But like there was like I felt like the segment was just way too long. I was like, I'm noticing these, like this is going on way too long, and this is completely
I think
unnecessary.
that was like a common thing that I had is like a lot of these scenes felt very long for what it was.
Oh, like the training montage with
With
yeah,
Luke.
baby
That was
feeding
a little
montage.
too
That like
long.
I was just like, oh my god, this feels so long.
Oh,
And then apparently it's like 20 minutes. I'm like,
that's
No
that's
wonder
a
it
lot
felt
in like a
long.
40-minute.
Victoria, you're gonna
Yeah.
appreciate this. We were watching that scene, the training scene, and my fiance's like, "Hold on tight, Spider Monkey." I was-
Yes. I
that's fair.
'cause
That's,
he was like climbing up the. He jumped on
like,
top
with
of the
the-
tree.
No.
with the montage, I was like, first of all, I was so happy to see Grogu again, but then I was like, oh, they're training,
this is
and I was
cute.
like, oh,
There's
and I'm like,
training
okay,
still.
come
Okay,
on,
we
they're
get
still
it.
training.
Like, we get it, Disney. You fix Luke's face. We get it.
And
Move
one
on.
thing, yeah, I mean, yeah, they did Luke really well. I was really impressed, but I was like, why is Ahsoka there? I was
Right?
so confused. I was
I don't
like,
know.
you were with his dad, and now I'm like,
'Cause we
I
all
don't know.
assumed that like Luke never met her, but now they
I'm
have
very
like, this
confused
ongoing
on,
relationship.
Like I'm very confused on
Yeah.
the dynamic of their relationship, and it's
and now it's like, is
very-
she still? I mean, like she has her show, and we'll figure out where she is. But like, where was she when like Luke was hiding out on a planet?
Yeah.
Because
I-
apparently Ahsoka isn't even dead by Rise of Skywalker. Apparently.
No,
It's not
"Where the fuck
confirmed.
is she?"
Yeah.
I don't know how long canonically that Togrutas live, but
yeah.
I feel like they have, because she's like a character from the animated show and she wasn't in the prequels and she wasn't in the originals. They had to like write her character to have a reason why she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
for like season 7 of Clone Wars, she was like on a whole other part of the
Yeah.
galaxy during
Mhm.
Order 66, and then Rebels, she is like out looking for Ezra. So that's why
Yeah.
she's not like in any of the original movies. And
Right.
Like
I'm sure that they could
apparently she
hide
still
it.
hasn't found him and is still looking for Thrawn.
Well, that's
even
what I'm
after
confused
the
on, because I
originals.
think the scene where her and Sabine leave at the very
Right.
end of Rebels is supposed to happen after Return of the
Right, that
Jedi.
is. That
I
is
think it
supposed to be
is.
after Return.
So I think there's a time jump. It just doesn't it doesn't really say.
I remember now. It's because like when Ezra pulled Ahsoka into the space between
The World Between Worlds, yeah.
and then she went through a different exit. She exited at like a different point in time. I think it was explained by someone.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure. But if you look at like under her white cloak, she's wearing something similar that she wears in The Mandalorian, which I didn't notice until like I rewatched it. Which is kind of cool. But yeah, I guess they're still looking for Ezra. So
and Thrawn.
But like I was just like, when did she find out that Luke was basically her nephew?
Yeah.
It had to have been after the Mandalorian episode, because she didn't seem like she had any idea that Luke existed, because she just said go to this planet and have Grogu reach out.
Like, did she go to that?
I'm assuming that maybe she did something similar and like tried to reach out to the Force. And like in the Ahsoka book, it happens a year after Order 66, so it's still very like fresh after the prequels. Yeah. But you see her, she's like constantly reaching out into the Force to see if there's like any Jedi left, and she's reaching out for Anakin, and it's heartbreaking, and there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
So it seems like something that she does often.
My biggest thing with her character is like I don't understand why she was like so inclined for like Mando, like, oh, don't interact with the child. Because I'm like, isn't that the whole reason you left the Jedi Order? Is because like all of their practices was like something.
With a lot of it.
Yeah, it's like you questioned everything that the Jedi Order stood for, on top of like you weren't acting maliciously, but like, you were definitely like opposed to like, you know, removal of attachments. Like, you know, there was a lot of practices that like you questioned that led you to leave the Order. And then like that carries on through your whole character arc. But then like you have this opportunity where like the kid, like, you know, Grogu is being taught by Luke, and it's like you are advocately like supporting those ideas again. And I'm just like very confused. I was like, I don't really get that.
Yeah, like I wonder if like it would have worked better the other way. Like see Ahsoka like interacting like with Grogu and whatever. Like I know like there's a whole thing to, she said she wouldn't train her and like whatever, but like it makes more sense that like Luke is the one who's like, oh, no attachments, and then like send Mando away, and then like have Ahsoka come and be like, wait, why'd you do that?
Yeah, I feel like that conversation she had with Mando was like a better conversation to have with Luke, because I feel like Luke is still trying to figure out what kind of Jedi he wants to be. I mean, it's so early. Like, he's never taught anybody. We know that he becomes this disgruntled old man later on. So like where like, you know, he's not teaching the same practices the Jedi Order does. And he does come to that conclusion that the Jedi Order fell because of their own, you know,
hubris.
Yeah, their own hubris. And it's like, okay, we know he gets there, right? So how come we have no development for that idea? So I'm just like, I don't understand why Ahsoka is like playing the ladder for Luke, and then we get no development with Luke at all. And it's like, it's just all just seems awkward now.
I hope that they go somewhere with it to tie it together more. I try to think about it like us as an audience, we know everything because we've seen everything.
Right, yeah.
Luke didn't exist during the prequel, so he only has the Jedi texts and what he has learned from exploring the galaxy, because we know from like some of the comics that he went out and tried to find other Jedi temples to find like information and stuff like that. And then Ahsoka, she doesn't know Anakin's full story because Anakin never told her any of the stuff that he was going through. All she knows is that his attachment to Padme is what caused his downfall. So I think maybe that's why she feels so strongly against the attachment thing.
That's a good one.
Now, as opposed to like before, but it's like, I feel like I love Ahsoka and I love her character. I think it's a little bit inconsistent sometimes with how she's written, even though it is Dave Filoni. A lot of questions. Like, she's Dave Filoni's baby, but I've talked about other people with this too. Like, I just don't think Dave Filoni's great at writing female characters.
Oh, no. Because like Ahsoka was like a bad character. I think like the first introduction she had, she was like annoying, and then like Dave Filoni came out and was like, "Oh, she was supposed to be annoying." It's like, no, I just think you don't know how to write women. Like, I think that's more up in line with what happened.
Yeah. I don't think Jon Favreau really does either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
does
Yeah,
not.
to
As
be
much as I
fair.
like that dude, he does not know how to write
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
we have any other critiques or likes of it? I feel like we've expended a fair amount of
We've
it.
expended a fair amount, though. I did like, even though like I don't really, it's a lot of episode 5 and 6. I don't really think is very Book of Boba Fett. I really did appreciate like the N1 starfighter building.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That was
whole
cool.
thing.
To see that again.
Speak of episode 5 real quick though. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh,
Love
Her
Bryce Dallas
episode-
Howard.
Fantastic.
Our episodes of The Mandalorian are probably my favorite. Like the Sanctuary.
The best.
Yes.
Chapter
and then
4.
reintroducing Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard, I would love to see what else she has to offer to Star Wars.
I want
Let
them to
me
just
be
give
Bryce
her
Dallas
a Star Wars project.
Same. Honestly, give her Ahsoka.
That's what
I'm
I said.
curious
I
to
was like,
see-
give her
yeah.
Ahsoka,
Oh
and
my god, yes.
she. I totally agree.
Yeah,
Totally.
I would be so intrigued to see what happens.
Yeah.
But do we have any favorite characters? Anyone?
Ugh.
Oh, the beady droid.
I was
The
gonna
BD
say
droid. Yeah.
I literally,
the
like,
moment we saw it, I was like, "Oh, Brooke's dead."
my soul left my body.
Yep.
For like 2 seconds, I was like, "Are we about to see Cal
Cal?
Kestis in live
Yeah.
action?" And then I was like, "Okay, that's not BD1, but it is a BD droid, and it was in
That
live action,
is.
which is so fucking cool."
I'm just
And
like,
you
this
could
is them
tell-
experimenting.
Yeah, and you could tell like in some of the scenes, like where he is like using his like flashlight for
Mhm.
Mando, it was like a practical, like a
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
control kind of thing. So
Mhm.
I liked that aspect of it. That's something I really enjoyed about this show is all of the practical effects that
Yes.
they use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with the
Yeah.
Rancor.
The
back in episode
Rancor with the huts,
3. Mhm.
Yeah.
like those were all mostly practical, other than maybe like their actual animation.
Even
it was,
the other
it was
syndicate,
very weird to see, like, you could tell what was practical and what wasn't with those
Mhm.
little robots.
like the
So
droids.
quick note
Yeah.
back on Bryce Dallas Howard. Every time I see her name, I'm like, Victoria from Eclipse.
Oh, yeah.
Twilight actors years later.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Fantastic. Better with age.
I don't know. I don't really have like a favorite character since like I don't even know whose show this is. But it's I think I did like that moment in the finale between Din and Boba,
Yes.
where like you had this like duality of like faith versus like who you are, you know, and I think that was a really intimate moment between both of them. And it's like you get to discover like who Din is, and it's very interesting because like Din is like essentially shunned from his own religion currently.
He has nothing left to lose in that
Yeah,
moment.
and it's like all he has is the people around him, right?
Yeah.
But he still lives within his creed. And then Boba's like, you're gonna believe all that? Like that's not.
That
Oh, that feels very
Bantha.
like religious trauma.
Yeah.
I was
there.
that,
It's-
yeah.
It's
Um,
like, oh, I get
Yeah.
shot. Like they say I shouldn't be doing these things, or like in my religion, they say like, oh, whatever, like being gay is wrong, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
but, like I still love God.
I always think it is funny though when everyone's like, "You need to remove your weapons." Like weapons are a part of my religion,
My
and I'm like,
religion.
"This is."
It's
That's
like
what-
I have a religious exemption.
I have a religious exemption.
this is why I shouldn't be.
And I'm like, it was a little too much. All right, cool.
Yeah.
But I really do enjoy that moment because it's like you don't really get to like Din always has his conversations around the child, you know,
Mhm.
around Grogu and his motivations around Grogu. And just like in that moment, like not interacting with people who are already in his creed, he's like, I'm here because that's what I said and that's what I believe. And
He's
like,
very much a man of his word.
yeah, but like it still just adds to his character because again, we as the audience know like he's essentially shunned from
Mhm.
his own belief system, but he still stands with it, and he's
He
still
also
like
knows that like I'm probably not going to see my son again either. At this
that was
point.
so sad when you come to that conclusion. He's like, I'm gonna die
Oh,
here, like I'm ready
But
to
like
die
it
here.
makes for such a cheesy moment, but one that I love. It screams
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez. It's just him pulling out the pistol, like this is the way.
Yeah, and then like with just Boba and how he's constructed, it's like he's like, yeah, if I'm gonna die, then I'll die with you, you know.
Mhm.
And that's like that's meaningful between both of them, and it's It's like a I love you moment, you know, in
Like,
in
no
the most
kiss.
like manly, like the most manly way possible. It was
Oh my
like,
god.
yeah, it was
Like, I
like
got
the
you back,
best.
bro.
It's pretty much like I got you, bro.
How do you convey
that,
so
brother.
much
that was when I was like to the end of the line.
to the end of the line? Yeah.
Yeah, there's some Bucky Cap moment.
And,
Stuggies.
like, how do you convey
Some
so much
Dougie moment.
emotional impact in those words and
No
like
faces.
and no
With two dudes
faces?
wearing
It's
helmets.
amazing.
Yeah,
it's
and it's like
amazing.
it's like that's inconsistency in writing. It's like, okay, yeah, there were some really dumb moments, but this moment is my
Yeah.
favorite
The-
moment. I
The
love
body
this.
language that they've worked out for Din Djarin is like top
Immaculate.
tier because you don't see his face, but you know exactly how he's feeling.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the body movement, back to the Bryce Dallas Howard Mando episode. I love the launch shot we had of him entering the elevator, and it's just all one take of him trying to get
Oh,
information as to
Yes.
where the hideout was for the Mandalorians. And then it's just him still exiting and then entering the elevator, and then you just see him relieve himself of his pain and everything.
Yeah.
Because he's unwilling to show that in front of people. Just so good.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
I
So
love Mando.
would you say it's Mando and Boba then for you, Nick, as your favorite?
I don't know. You don't get to see him be a person, I think, and I think that moment he was himself because, like,
Mhm.
without the kid, without anybody, he was just. What did he have to lose? Nothing. Like he was willing to die there, and I'm like,
Yeah,
damn,
fair
all
enough.
right. I guess
What
ride or
was
die
that?
right now to the end of the line. Exactly. Just
To the end of the line.
line.
Boba was the same thing. He's like, fuck it.
Um,
I came here to like be better, and
I'll
I'm
die
gonna
better.
die by being
yeah.
went to the end of the line.
How about you, though, Laiba? I'm assuming your favorite character is still Din.
I mean, I'm gonna be predictable and say Din because I genuinely love Din so much.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
like I remember when I was like obviously struggling to get to the show, like through the show, and Johnny, you're like, can I just tell
asked you if you wanted me to spoil it for you, and you said yes. I
Yeah,
asked
I
you
did-
multiple
I did-
times.
I did say yes just because I needed something. I needed something to just
We
like
know what
get
you
me
needed.
through.
Yeah, we knew what
I mean,
kick in
all
the
he
ass
said
you needed.
was that he was going to be
Mando.
there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Like
had Mando come back.
I remember like watching the trailer. I was like, that voice. I was like, I know that voice. It's his voice.
Yeah.
And like watching the episode, like where I mean, I was updating you guys. I was like telling you what episode I was on.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I heard
His music at the end of episode
credits
4.
can buy you muscle. So I was like, shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was like he might be in it for like a bit or like a second, but no, he was like
2
obviously
episodes.
in the
Yeah.
yeah 2 episodes. But I was like, when I first saw the episode, I was genuinely sobbing.
Yeah.
I was like, I know Johnny knows because like I was literally crying my eyes out because I love Din so much, and Din makes me so happy. I'm like attached to this character. But I was like, holy shit. But yeah, I'm gonna say Din, and I'm also gonna say Fennec is my favorite character.
Fennec,
Fennec.
she's
I was
my
gonna bring her
favorite. I mean,
up.
like,
They-
as much as I love
She's
everybody else.
Mommy.
She brings the common sense to Boba Fett's himboness.
She's always just like,
Yeah.
you're acting stupid. Stop being
Like,
Can we
there's a
stupid.
better
please
way to
torture
this.
someone? Can we please kill someone? Like,
This is like, dude, I'm bored. Let me just let me cut someone's head off, please.
Right?
like, I really appreciate. Like, I mean, like she was the muscle. She had a lot of strategy, even though she was a little bit more direct and violent in her strategy. If it was up to her. But I really appreciated how we actually got to see the episode where
Mhm.
he went and saved her, and
Yeah.
like they had their little mission together and stuff. Like, I was like, okay, cool. This is a good team. Like, I like seeing this, like, and how they came together. But like, she was just McNowan. Like,
Yeah.
I
I'm
didn't miss.
so sad I can't meet her.
I mean, like she had like those little weird parkour moments, but like,
Everyone
you
did,
know what?
so it's fine.
Why not?
I love in that first episode though, where like Boba Fett just blows a guy up with his wrist launcher, and then he goes to Fett like alive. He's like, I gotta kill them, not you.
He's like, we need one.
What is it? On the final note, I think who else thought that like Cat Bane was in the back of the tank? I thought for a moment that it was gonna be Cat Bane.
A little bit here.
I don't know why I raised my hand,
was like-
but yeah, me.
I was like a little ambitious. I was like, Why would they save
I
him?
thought it was gonna be Black Chrysanthemum because that's what they.
Also
like,
true.
When he
you
got
see
like
Boba
saved,
Fett,
he was like, "I owe you like a nice long soak in the back
back
to
the
tank."
tank.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
oh, I was
thinking that.
expecting like just
I
like a
didn't
wet
think
dog.
Cobb Vanth was that hurt.
Yeah,
Honestly,
got in the
I didn't
shoulder.
realize
Yeah,
like
got in the
people.
shoulder.
It was like,
I
get the
saw on
med
TikTok
pack.
that they're like, "Oh my god, like is he alive?" I'm like, "Wait, you think he's actually dead?"
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Like he looked
Deputy
visibly
was
shot in the
definitely
arm.
dead.
Like
Yeah.
how was like he wasn't shot in the chest or anything.
Yeah.
Like the other deputy guy was.
He got
Dead.
quadrupled. He got his vibe
Yeah.
checked multiple
But Cobb
times.
Vanth, like okay, I love Cobb Vanth though. I wish we had
Me
more
too.
of Cobb
Silver
Vanth.
Fox.
They wouldn't waste Timothy Oliphant like that.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
think-
So like I'm like, of course he's and then like I went back to doing it. I didn't even think I was just like, oh, okay, it's probably like hot Wookie, but like okay, like it makes sense. Cobb Vanth is there, he's more hurt.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that annoys me about that whole thing is like, okay, now the mods exist and now the back to tank is like a very accessible thing. It's like, who else can like come back from the dead? You know, it's like I'm wondering like what is the stakes really now? You know, like if anyone can get
Kidding.
exactly.
I mean, they
It's
kinda
like
set
Anyone
up
can
for
get
it,
it back
though.
to tank.
yeah, it's like
though.
everyone can get it.
Right.
Well, like that's the thing. Like if this close circle of characters has access to a bank to tank or whatever, right? Like how real are the stakes?
Mhm.
Are these in these future episodes? Like if they're ever on Tatooine, they're basically safe. You know, like no one's dying on Tatooine, and it just like sets it
As
up.
long as you
like,
know Boba.
if I was writing it, like if I was writing this, like I'd have to set up a narrative where like I have to destroy all of those things to
Mhm.
progress any kind of story
Yeah.
to raise the stakes.
Get rid
And
of
that-
all.
So that's the weird thing with like Cad Bane because I'm just like we see him die and like I
Yeah.
think he's dead, but like it feels like they put a lot of into it
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Like,
him to be
I
just cut
personally-
so short.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I want him to be alive, even though he scares
I was
the
gonna say.
actual shit out of me. And
Why
I
was like
have
hiding
discovered that
behind whatever the heck
I
he
was
holding.
so he like creeped me out because I was like, I
Love
found a
him.
man that I can't fix.
Oh yeah,
I was like, I
that
can't
was
fix
the
him. I
new
was like-
meter we came up with. Fixable.
I was like,
I can
Cad
fix
Bane?
fixable.
No, I can't.
Fix
It's just
Cad
like
Laiba, that should be like a new series for you on TikTok where you just like find
Can I fix
questionable
it?
male characters and like, can I fix this
Yeah,
man? Verdict,
come
no.
on. That
yeah.
sounds
I
fun.
do.
Like,
I do like
I
how
want to know
poetic.
more.
I do like how poetic it was that there's an episode of the Clone Wars where it's either Clone Wars or Bad Batch. I think it's Clone Wars though, where Cad Bane says something like,
Oh, I've killed so many clones.
he's like,
in
I've
my
killed so
days.
many
was
clones. Like
Bad
once you
Batch.
figure out one, you figure out them all.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was Bad Batch.
Yeah.
And then
He says it to Hunter.
he was killed by a
by a
clone,
clone.
because he was so different. Like I love how he used his gaffy
Mhm.
stick to do that. Like
Same.
I'm
Yeah.
glad
Yes.
as much as the show was like very disjointed, a lot of the things that they had in those
They
episodes
they came back.
set up
yeah.
for stuff later. Like we saw
Mhm.
Grogu training so he could help with the Rancor, whether or not you think that was necessary, because like I don't think that it needed to be there. I think they could have figured something else
Mhm.
out, but like it was still a setup for that.
Did a force jump to
Um,
hug his dad. That was fun because he couldn't do it
That
before.
was cute too.
That was
Yeah.
adorable.
Really
The
They did that.
Rancor, oh yeah, the Rancor was set up. The gaffy stick was set up. Like the
Mhm.
Yeah.
Honestly, like speaking of the gaffy stick stuff, because like I know so many people wanted that Clone Wars showdown in live action, and like you had so many angry fan bitches say like, "Oh, Boba Fett should have won the showdown" and all that. It's just that's such horseshit in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
more poetic that he won with the gaffy stick.
I
Yeah.
kind of think he's proper dead, and I think he should stay proper dead
Mhm.
Mhm.
for whatever reason. Because like again, like he was a good cameo, whatever. Like I mean, granted, if you don't watch anything other than like the live action
action
stuff,
stuff,
you're not
you're
gonna
gonna be a
know who
little-
the fuck he is. But like, it's a good little Easter egg villain,
Mhm.
whatever in
That
there.
is,
but
I,
like,
I think it's great though they picked Cad Bane because he has such a design that's just so menacing, and it's just like
yeah.
this guy's a
Right
fucking
down to the
bad
sharp
guy.
teeth.
Has-
Laiba's looking
Not
terrified.
he
just
has like
about
the
it.
Sith Ray teeth.
Not
I mean,
fixable.
Star Wars too. Star Wars doesn't have. It's like a non-linear storytelling, so they can always
True.
go backwards and do
Mhm.
something live action with him
We
again.
probably still
Yeah.
have more of Cad Bane and some Fennec Shan stuff in Bad Batch.
I think
season
Fennec's
two
gonna
and all
play a
that.
big part of Bad Batch
Yeah,
season 2.
same.
Yeah.
But honestly,
Like-
like speaking on the fanboys' reactions to how Boba beat Cad Bane, it's just what do we think of all that? Because let's not forget, after the first episode dropped, we had very questionable takes coming out about Boba Fett here. Like people going on about like, oh, like Boba Fett doesn't respect women and shit like that. It was just
It's so
mind-boggling.
irritating, and especially now with like we have an official date for Kenobi. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just simply not going to listen to white men talk about Star Wars ever.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think
Yes.
that's helped me through. Like, I mean, I've been off of Star Wars TikTok, but like I saw like stuff, and I saw like anything like that you posted or like any of our like mutuals and stuff
Yeah.
posted. And it's like cool, but like then seeing like the articles and like the Twitter stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, they are so relentless over everything. They can't enjoy anything. Like, yeah, it was disjointed. Yeah, some parts were slow.
But like even then, that
Yeah.
was just like after
But they're
the
like,
first
oh my
episode
god, this
drops.
isn't like
Mhm.
Star
This
Wars
isn't
because the
my Boba
flashback
Fett.
had slightly different editing.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now you don't need to
Yeah.
listen to white men.
You don't
about
have
this.
to hate.
They've talked about it for
everything
what
about Star Wars.
decades.
I'm
enough.
really nervous for Kenobi. Like, I just don't want to hear about Kenobi from men,
Yeah.
particularly
Yeah.
white men. Like, I'm
Let's
just
be honest here. Kenobi was
Especially
written by
white
women.
men over 30 too. They
Oh,
they
yeah.
have extra
yeah,
seasoned
I'm
opinions.
just over it already.
Wait,
not
Bryce
funny.
Dallas Howard directing an episode of
Exactly.
Kenobi? I would love that.
Yeah.
Honestly, have Rice direct the entire series.
I'm
Drive the
I'm
white
just
boys
excited
crazy.
for our watch parties for it because I'm
Yeah.
like, because I don't watch.
I'm gonna
it
go
at 3
feral.
a.m. I
You're gonna
don't
go feral.
have the time, patience, or effort.
I feel like you're
to
gonna
be
fall
the
in love. Who's the
first or
actor?
Whatever.
Who's the actor for what?
For Obi-Wan. Who's the actor for Obi-Wan?
Ewan
Ewan
McGregor.
McGregor?
Yeah, I feel like-
already
God,
love
Oh,
right,
you already
that's
followed.
because
Right,
that's
sorry.
who I was like,
Fixable.
oh,
Forgot. Fixable.
Can I fix like what Roman Valencia or whatever from Birds of Prey? Because Ewan McGregor was so hot.
I think I can.
Well, Ewan
Hey,
McGregor is
honestly-
already fixed, so like he has to break, and then Laiba's I gotta fix him now.
Hey,
You know,
Ewan
Like-
McGregor in Birds of Prey, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That dug it.
I do think
but
the stance for like just to like give a little insight for like what Obi-Wan I think would be. It's like I think they're really just gonna like push him through the test of like how committed are you to protecting these kids, you know?
Mhm.
Like because like someone had said it, it's like what did Ben do that like you know Luke's uncle doesn't like him or calls him like
Yeah.
crazy? It's like I want to see a disheveled like Obi-Wan, someone who's just
Yeah.
like
All I
I
know
I have
is
a feeling the series is going to end with him just like breaking.
yeah, and
I'm getting really
I kinda
sad. I'm
want
like, this
that,
is kind
though.
of. a
yeah, but then you're
lot,
gonna get
but-
all the angry fanboys like, "Oh, Obi-Wan would never." Break
But that's
and
the
shit.
thing. Like that's
I know.
Obi-Wan has always been the perfect Jedi for me. Like
Exactly.
if there's like a perfect Jedi out there, it's Obi-Wan because he's so committed and he does everything with the right intent. I want to see him break, and I know that sounds real sad, but like I just feel like that's a testament to his character.
I
It's
feel
like,
like if he doesn't break, how does he get to be crazy Luke? I don't know.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't. I'm not looking forward to the fanboys
Old
on
white
that
man
one.
says.
Can we
I'm going to
retcon the-
stick to
Can we protect each
our
other
watch
from the
parties
fanboys?
Yeah.
and the mutuals.
So, like, here's
what
the
you have
thing.
to say, Brooke. But like, yeah, also
Yeah.
like the whole fandom thing with the watching it at 3 a.m. Eastern or whatever.
Mm,
It's too much.
can't do it.
Too much. I
Yeah.
can't do it. Like
Fair
I
time.
Like
I might
useless
do
the
it.
next day if I stay up that late.
yeah, I have like meetings usually at 8 a.m. But like I've only done it for like 2 or 3
Few episodes of Hawkeye.
at all. Like yeah, like any of the ones where I had to like do a watch party with the after show afterwards at 3 a.m. I was useless the rest of the day. No
Yeah.
point. Like just for what views?
Yeah,
No
that's
thanks.
fair.
For some hot takes of like white men yelling at you in your comment section.
yeah.
That's a
I-
big L.
I stopped.
Also, I feel
chasing-
bad for you guys the most because they obviously target women way more when it comes to Star Wars,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
just absolutely
Yeah.
fucking disgusting. Again,
I can't
Brooke,
imagine.
I don't know how you keep posting Star Wars.
I hope we get some strong women
Respect.
characters and
Genuine
Kenobi.
respect. Oh,
But
yeah.
like
I would love to see
Who?
Qui-Gon. I would love to see Qui-Gon.
Kira. I want Kira. Kira
Yes.
Kenobi.
Kira.
Kira back.
But back to Boba Fett, at least. Like we've been mentioning like some of our favorite episodes. Like I know mine is the Mando one. I think Laiba's is also the Mando episode. How about you guys though?
What did I say on my? I can't remember.
I'm gonna say the finale just for that moment.
Finale.
Just for that moment that exists.
Okay.
That's my favorite moment.
Bro moment.
I don't know what that was. That was
I got
beyond.
you, bro.
That was like beyond
I
love.
love you, bro moment.
That was beyond passion. That was just like existence, and like that part I can appreciate. I was just so into that moment. Like, how do you have this moment? And they're literally, you can't see their face, but I could feel everything. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I love it so much.
So
It's like a magical moment. I don't know if it was intended that way, but it's definitely like I appreciate it that much. So I'm gonna say the finale.
Okay.
I put mine as episode 5 with the Mandalorian, but
Okay.
I still don't quite count those.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So it would be episode 2 for me, like the Tuscan ones, because
Yeah.
like I really
Yeah.
loved seeing him interact
Okay.
and grow
Yeah.
in that way of like I can see him like by living with them and their way of living and everything, and like the violence and how unnecessary it was. Like I understand why he's trying to be the leader he is trying to be.
Was
Right.
it episode 2 with the train?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
If I'm
that
not
is.
gonna say episode 5 of Mando, then I'll say episode 2.
Yeah,
How
the
about you,
train
though,
was a
bro?
pretty good one. I like that one.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Mando episodes too, but if I had to pick a Boba Fett centered, I think episode 2 is also my favorite. Like that
Yeah.
whole scene of his like ceremony, getting all like his Tuscan like robes was so beautiful.
I love that
Mhm.
scene where like you
It's-
see the sands be water and all that, and
Oh,
like it
yeah, that
reflecting
too.
Camino.
Mhm.
It's so funny watching
It's
watching
all
him
really
walk back
cool.
with a branch. It's like, why did you break? What's
Like
going
I
on?
found this branch.
I love
I
when they
was
gave him.
really drugged
the
up,
lizard.
but I found this branch.
I love when they gave him the lizard, and he's like, "Oh, I think I swallowed it." Like he was trying to be so polite about like how fucking weird this was. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Like,
I'm
I'm
so
sorry.
sorry.
Hold up my nose, like you saw that, right?
Now that I mention it, now that you guys mentioned that moment, I'm like, oh yeah, that was
That was a big,
Rodriguez
crazy
on
moment.
that episode, wasn't it?
So how many Beskar shirts are we giving? Are we giving Boba
Oh
Fett?
yeah. Where are we rating this?
Like a
Um,
3.5.
I'll give-
Beskar chainmail baby
Beskar,
size
yeah,
shirt. It was
Beskar
like
baby
it was
shirts.
good. It was fun. There was things that could be better, but like I genuinely had a good time.
Yeah.
I'll watch it again. Like it doesn't hurt me in any way,
Yeah.
but like
I stand by
Anybody.
3 out of
it's
5.
not this
Yeah.
any
Remember-
standout for like
it's not supposed to hurt you.
Yeah, remember, new
Exactly.
Star Wars doesn't hurt
Want to hurt.
anybody, people. Okay, like
It just offends certain people, is all.
they should,
we don't talk to
Should,
those
I mean-
people.
Exactly.
All right.
but yeah, like it's not as standout as like some of the other movies are to me and the other properties, but like it holds its own. It's good.
So 3.5.
I like it as about as much as I liked Bad Batch. I'll say
Okay,
that.
so then how many baby Beskar shirts?
That's 3 out of
Baby
5,
Beskar
I'd say.
shirts.
About
3
3
out
out
of
of 5.
3 out of 5. Okay. How about you,
Yeah.
Brooke? How many baby
I
Beskar shirts?
think I'd go with that too. I feel like the longer, like the farther away it gets, the more I'll be like, you know, I've like real, like I'll look back on this time like fondly. Like when I was watching the Bad Batch, it was super fun, and then I was like, okay, it's over. But now I'm like, oh, I kind of miss the Bad Batch. Like I miss
Same.
like the
I
Bad
need
Batch
to do.
era. Like I mean, I still think about Falcon and the Winter Soldier era. That was like my favorite.
Yeah.
Same.
yeah.
That's my
Oh,
favorite
me
Disney
too.
show.
Me too.
I just love it
Good.
so much. It's my favorite out of all of the Marvel shows.
Yeah.
Hey, Brooke!
Hot take,
3.
but I love it. But
Don't worry,
yeah.
not a hot take
Good
here.
show.
It's not.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
no,
I'll
thanks.
get that a similar feeling where I'm like, I miss Boba Fett and I miss Fennec. Because, like, I missed Din Djarin so much that, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, the whole fandom just had, like, this visceral reaction to him returning, even though
Yeah.
he's only been gone for less, like,
Yeah.
a little
About a
over a
year.
year.
Yeah.
But it feels like
I
forever.
missed him.
How about you, Laiba?
Yeah, how many
I'm
baby
curious.
Beskar shirts?
Are you
Baby
gonna be the
Beskar
pessimist?
shirts.
I think I'm gonna do well out of 5, right?
Yeah.
2.5.
Whoa.
But
Oh.
I'm gonna do. Let me do 2.5 because I'll watch it again and then I'll come back.
It's
Yeah.
accommodating.
We will get
Every
back to
time,
this
like, it's
episode
like every
with
time
Laiba's
we watch
official
something,
rating.
it goes higher on the list, right? Like,
Yeah.
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 Like you with WandaVision.
yeah.
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 How about you, Nick?
I think consensusly the Voice of Atlas say that it is 3 baby Beskar armors out of 5. So
Yeah,
Me
we're
and
about
Laiba even
3.
out.
yeah.
We even out.
2.5 and 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But like Brooke, overall though, like I at least I see you as like the biggest Boba Fett in some way on the internet. Like, would you
Can-
say
really?
like,
Can I also
this
just say
kind
she
of, like,
called out?
fulfilled?
I saw the video where she like called out the idea of having a throne at Disney parks.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
You never got invited to the finale.
She
Disney.
definitely was there.
Where's my invitation? I was
Where
so
was the
pissed.
invite?
Like if they had put one in Disney World, I would have seriously considered like doing like a weekend trip. Just so I could go on to but it was only Disneyland, and I was like, that's too far. Like maybe they'll keep it up like through Celebration, because if I'm hopefully gonna go to Celebration, so if it's gonna be there still, I doubt it, but
hopefully.
Yeah.
Though I do appreciate what Daddy Ren 66 Patrick's Disney bound.
Yes.
On the throne
Yeah.
for like his honeymoon trip with
that's cute.
with Birdie Fett, or I think is her username.
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, Boba Fett is very, very. There's this
Tamora
one,
Morrison is a wall of a man, like Kylo
He is
Ren.
very good guy.
There's-
He's not very
I think
tall
he was
though. He's
from-
only like 5'7". So like
I'm
little-
taller
Hey,
than
whoa,
Boba
hang
Fett.
on, chill out, everybody. I'm 5'8". Like, what do you
I'm
mean?
taller than Boba Fett.
I keep
There's
getting
this
attacked.
there's this one audio clip. I think it's from season 2 of The Mandalorian, where Boba Fett was like, he was like, "Be careful, little one," and I nearly fell off my chair. I nearly threw myself.
I mean, my whole like shtick with Boba Fett started at when he in his episode when he was like demolishing the stormtroopers, and I was like, is this gonna awaken something in me? And it did.
And we're all for it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think
thank
like
you.
even with the end of Boba Fett, like
I think he's
I
gonna
would
be
like
in
to see
season
more
3.
of him. Season 3
yeah.
of Mando? Yeah, that's where I'm
He's
thinking.
gonna. I feel like he's gonna
be
show
like,
up near the end.
I feel like he's gonna be the
again.
base of operation. You know, he's like
We want Himbo Boba.
that's where
Yeah, like they're
that's
gonna get
where-
into like some sort of like trouble. They're gonna have a problem to solve, and then they're gonna come back to Tatooine and like
Yeah.
get his
Has-
Chill.
forces.
Yeah, I feel like season 3 is
Yeah.
gonna be like the Mandalorians taking back Mandalore, and like despite Bo-Katan's apprehensiveness towards Boba, it would be really interesting just to see him come back and to help reclaim the planet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I genuinely wonder what it's gonna be like, because like obviously after the finale
the
of
last
season
season.
2, the finale of season 2, everyone's like, oh, so season 3 is just gonna be about him trying to find Grogu and him trying to like be reunited with him
Yeah.
or see him one last time, but like they already did that in like
Yeah.
an episode, so I
should re-listen to our Mandalorian episode and see if we called anything that happened in
Oh yeah,
Book of
we
Boba
did.
Fett.
We rewrote everything. I forgot.
Yeah.
know we did.
Yeah.
I want to throw it out there. This is my prediction for Mando season 3. I think that Mando trying to get onto the Rancor is foreshadowing
For
the
him riding a
Mythosaur.
mythosaur. Yes.
Because the armorer said like, oh, to repent or whatever, you have to go to like the underground mines or whatever
Of Mandalore the Great.
of Mandalore. I think we're gonna have like kind of like a Game of Thrones moment where it's like the Mythosaur has been
love
gone for
this.
so long that it's just legends, but he's just gonna like come out of the ice or whatever.
Mhm.
That's what
Love that.
and Mando's gonna ride it.
I'd like to think that's canon.
I want
It's
that.
canon.
I need
I
that.
believe this is right.
I want to manifest that into existence now, please. John Favreau, if you somehow listen to this,
I
Let
definitely think
Din
there's gonna be
Djarin
like a
ride.
conflict between like the Boba Fett, like Bo-Katan, and like
I feel like if
that side versus like the Night
Mhm.
Watch or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like if Bo-Katan is like, if she has to go, she's gonna die by the dark saber in like some poetic way,
yeah.
because it's
Mm.
like
Yeah.
you die by the power that you seek, you know, and it's like
I don't think she's gonna last after.
that's what I'm feeling. It's like someone's got to go. If it's not her, then it's got to be Din, and obviously they're not gonna. I don't know.
I was
Actually, you
looking
know
at
what?
you
I
with a
don't know.
death stare.
It is the most poetic thing to like. I think it's the most like just.
I think like because I think
craziest
they
thing.
really need to lean into like taking care of their newer characters.
Yeah.
All the cameos and stuff are nice, but like we can get like didn't really prove like we can introduce new characters and
still love them.
still love them.
I wonder
mean,
if
like,
it's
They're too
gonna,
scared to do sequel stuff. but-
They're gonna definitely test his faith for his kid, like even more. I think because like that's what they're premising the whole thing on. It's like you're either king or you're a dad. You know, like you can't be both.
Teenager Grogu.
Teenager Grogu. God,
Pain in the
can't
ass.
imagine.
Do we have any final statements left for Boba Fett?
No, I think.
Just turn off your brain when you watch it and you have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's like
I'd love to
90%
see
of
that.
Star Wars, though. Like, you can't take it that seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody does, but like, it is fun. You will smile. You will have a good time.
It's a good
Trust
show,
us.
honestly. I think it's a
You'll
fun
be
show.
happy.
I do stand by the fact that I would love to see a bit more Boba Fett as well in Bad Batch, because Tamora Morrison will voice act, because he did it for Star Wars Visions for Tatooine Rhapsody. So I would love to see him come back.
Yeah, they might bring back Daniel Logan as well, because he voiced Boba in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So they could do that as well. Yeah.
But yeah, we have been the Voices of Atlas with our wonderful guest here. Brooke, plug yourself one more time for us.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me on. This is super fun. So you can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, _BDazzler_. I believe my Twitch is B__Dazzler. Probably gonna switch that though, so it's all uniform.
Yeah.
And you can check out Far Far Away Factory on Etsy.
Yes, I would recommend
eventually your
the
own
earrings.
website.
They don't even like make my ears itchy, and I have really sensitive ears. So
yeah, I'm happy with the ones I found.
Yeah, like I 2 thumbs up for me. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 or 6 pairs of earrings.
I love it.
Yeah. And as for the other Voices of Atlas, Nick, why
Hi.
don't you start us off with the plug?
I'm Amazing Nikendra almost everywhere now. So you can find me there on all platforms, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm just drawing like I usually am, trying to draw myself a career. Image Comics, you can hit me up when you want a Radiant Black cover.
Hey, we got stuff brewing.
Kyle Higgins. Other than that, we have a super massive thing happening soon.
So excited.
We have many things happening with the Voices of Atlas coming, so y'all can be excited for that.
Exactly, yeah. So be excited, be prepared, and just read an Image comic. Maybe
read Radiant
I don't
Black.
know.
Check
Johnny
out
said
Nick's
it,
Red
not
Bubble.
me. Anyway, that's me. You can find me there. Thanks everybody for listening.
Laiba?
I am Laiba Hazara, also known as Mixed and Anxious on TikTok. You know what? Get ready for a new TikTok series.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I can fix some Fridays.
I
fix them Fridays. You know who you should start it off with besides Din? Pedro Pascal's character in the Kingsman Golden Circle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I can fix them.
you can
I will
fix
go
them.
into heavy detail.
I don't
go into heavy detail.
But yeah. Victoria.
Yes, I'm Victoria. You can find me everywhere at Victoria Organa. As we mentioned, we have some special stuff brewing. You can find all my details at victoriaorgana.com though. And starting tomorrow or February 11th, I'm going to do a 28 days until turning red countdown because that movie is basically
get
me.
excited for that.
Y'all need to get excited
for Turning Red.
are in it. Asian girl in drama.
Y'all got Laiba and Victoria in that movie. We're gonna roll out like the Voices of
Laiba's
Atlas.
in the movie.
Purple.
Mars in the movie because we got Sandra Oh.
We got Sandra Oh in it, and
everything. So we got great stuff coming.
So definitely keep an eye out for Turning Red stuff from us. We've definitely got stuff brewing on that. And I have been your host, just Marvelous Johnny with 2 L's because that's the Canadian spelling. And y'all can find me on TikTok under Marvelous Johnny, on Instagram Marvelous_Johnny. I'm not really on Twitter, so I won't plug that. And you know what? Like, even with the Voices of Atlas stuff, I have stuff brewing as well as part of that. So keep an eye out for that, people. You'll probably see more of Victoria and Brooke and a lot of other people. So
we're doing a lot.
We're doing a lot with our brands.
We have a lot of stuff coming. I'm sure by mid-March, everything will be out there. It's going to be fantastic. And if you want any more updates and to chat with us, give us feedback. Discord.
Check us out on our Discord.
Yeah, check out our Discord, man.
Join our Discord. The moment we hit 100, we're gonna be playing Among Us or Jackboxes with some of our people in the Discord.
Yeah.
So it could be pretty fun. Some creators are also in there, so who knows who you'll see.
Yeah.
But we have been the Voices of Atlas. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
May the force be with you. That's not the right hand sign. I just did a Star Trek. I think I just lost my nerd card.
Goodbye, everybody.
I just lost my nerd
card. And also with you.
Bye,
Goodbye, everyone.